Welcome back, guys. You're watching today's Platinum, and in this video we're going to be going over the daily news as well as doing some technical analysis on Bitcoin and going over some top news stories. So if you guys enjoy daily updates like this, make sure to subscribe and also leave a like. Also, if you guys are interested, I just started offering one-on-one coaching for all of you investors, traders, and entrepreneurs out there. I specialize in trading cryptocurrency as well as stocks, overall wealth building and investing, as well as online business and entrepreneurship mindset kind of thing. So if you guys are looking for a one-on-one coaching session, definitely check out the coaching sessions in the description. They're not too pricey. I wanted to make sure starting off I could give you guys as much value as possible. So go ahead and check them out if you guys are interested. But with that out of the way, we also have our premium course in the description and a few free resources. So make sure to check all of that out. See if any of that can help you guys. So moving into the video, we clearly see that Bitcoin is at $7,420. We're still in that range where we're kind of just moving up and down a little bit, staying above key support levels, but also not breaking through any key resistance levels. So gonna have to keep an eye out, see what happens there. But I do have some interesting technical analysis as well as at least one specific news story that I want to touch on that kind of goes with the technical analysis for the day. So we're going to take a look at that story first, jump into some TA, and then continue on to the rest of the stories. So looking here, buy crypto while it is cheap, says major crypto hedge fund CEO. So Dan Morehead, CEO of a $1 billion cryptocurrency hedge fund, Pantera Capital, says today's crypto markets are very cheap and now's the time to buy. Morehead's comments came from an interview with CNBC today, June 1st. So literally today, guys. Morehead added that with the markets down 65% from their highs, it's much cheaper to buy now and participate in the rally as it goes. He offered a rule of thumb for anyone looking to make profits in crypto, suggesting when a cryptocurrency breaks through its 200-day moving average, if you buy that day and sell a year later, you make an average of 239% without even thinking about it. That's the essence of this trade. It rarely ever gets cheap to its long-term average, so today is a good day to be buying. Speaking of Bitcoin in particular, the CEO said this strategy has proved itself about 5 times in the last 6 years, engaging with CNBC's suggestion that institutional investment would be the next big catalyst for a major rally in the crypto sphere. Morehead said the narrative should be adjusted. I think there's an image out there that there's an on-off switch. It's off now, and the institutions are going to flick it on some particular date. We've had institutional investors since 2013, and it's a process. Risk and reward go together, but we've yet to have an SEC regulated custodian, which is the silver bullet everyone's waiting for. So just to touch on all of that, I think what he's basically saying, obviously, is buy when it breaks that 200-day moving average, but also a Bitcoin ETF from the SEC is really going to be the key that's going to allow all of this institutional money to run into the markets, and I think we're really going to see an explosion in price once that does happen. So actually jumping into the charts, guys, as you can see, I added the 200-day moving average, and we haven't been below the 200-day moving average in a long time. In a second, we'll move back and see the last time we were below that and see exactly what happened and kind of go over what exactly he said with that strategy. But guys, just going over kind of the TA that we've been going over the last few days in the daily updates. Clearly, we are still in this wedge. We drew these support and resistance lines yesterday, looking at a support of about 7,200 to 7,300. Still holding above that. We haven't touched that in 2 days, and then we also have a resistance at about 7,600 and then 7,620. So we really need to see if we can break above that today. Currently we're at 73.96, so at least I want to see us hold above 7,300. That would be a good price to stay above. Hopefully we can start to see some growth in the next few days, because we really haven't seen anything. Mostly just moving sideways since this growth right here. So looking to see some growth from Bitcoin in the next week or so. Hopefully we have some explosive growth to the upside and not to the downside, but going over this 200-day moving average, clearly you guys can see it hasn't been below the moving average in a very long time. And the last time that it was, you can see what happened. So we'll actually go over what exactly this guy said. If you buy on the day that it breaks above the moving average and wait 1 year, so 365 days, might have to move over. He said like an average of 200 and something percent. Ours isn't going to be 200%, but 157%. So clearly there is some truth to that strategy. We can zoom out more, but it's not going to show with the moving average. So clearly that strategy, does make sense. The 200-day moving average is a pretty large moving average that tracks a lot of time and allows for investors to really see the long-term price movement of whatever asset you're looking at. So thinking about that strategy, we are well below the 200-day moving average. So he said on the day that it breaks above it. So technically you guys could still wait, but honestly, getting in now would always be the best time, or continually getting in as right now, and then also if we move lower, or even if we move higher. Either way, now is a good time to get in, and I do agree with that's what's his name, Dan Moorhead. I do agree with those statements, and also the silver bullet, like he said, is definitely going to be the SEC releasing a Bitcoin ETF. So have to see what happens with that. But jumping into the news stories for today, CoinRace top 10 winners and losers of May. Figured we just check this out real quick. Top 10 winners: OKB, so Global Utility Token, looks like OKX's token. And NPXS, so I think that's PundyX, yep. BCN, Bytecoin. I'm not really sure why Bytecoin exploded the way it did, but there was a huge pump in it, absolutely massive pump. Decred, ZRX, Zilliqa, GNT, they have USDT here, Binance, and Augur. So it actually, wow. So only 8 coins registered gains in May. That's pretty crazy to hear. Moving into the top 10 losers, Bitcoin Diamond, Nano. Pretty crazy that Nano is down 50%. Wan Chain's down about 50%. Verge, I don't really like Verge. Populous, Sia Coin, that's pretty crazy. Icon, also crazy. Omizego, I mean, at least a few of these projects, Wan Chain, for example, highlight these for you guys. I mean, a few of these projects are great projects long term, and would definitely not recommend holding off on them. For example, I don't want to. Wan Chain, Sia Coin, Icon, Omizego, Nano. You can even say Waves. But I haven't really talked about Waves in a while, nor have I really considered investing in it in a while. So, but yeah, so those are just some of the coins that have had huge losses and could definitely show some large gains in the next few months to a year. So definitely looking out for that. Jumping back into some more stories, Bitcoin and altcoins remain attractive to buyers. Moving down, how to regulate the future now and how to unchain blockchains, how to throw away 7,500 Bitcoins, how blockchain can make forgeries of the past. So one thing I've noticed definitely the last few days, there hasn't been a ton of large news stories. The EOS blockchain launch, what should happen and what could go wrong. Long-term indicator may complicate Bitcoin recovery. So always love looking at these. A long-term price indicator has turned bearish for the first time in 4 years, threatening to impede continued gains in Bitcoin's price. Despite the rally late in the month, the cryptocurrency dropped 19% in May, according to Bitfinex data, pushing the 5-month moving average below the 10-month moving average for the first time since June 2014. The bearish moving average crossover validates the argument that long-term bull market has ended and indicates scope for further losses. The monthly chart also shows Bitcoin fell below 7698, the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement of the rally from 162 2015 to 19891. So if you guys really think about it, a lot of people consider the rally started at like 4,000, 5,000 and went up to 20K. That's not really true. We've really seen a bull market since 2015, from 162 up to that point. As we looked at with the moving average, we were above it the whole entire time. So last month bolstering the already bullish technical setup. However, the 4-hour chart is distinctly more bullish, indicating that gains could continue in the short term. So obviously, you can do whatever you want with technical analysis, but there's no denying the fact that if the SEC does release a Bitcoin ETF, I do believe we will continue into a larger bull market, and possibly, at that point, maybe correct at the end of that. But I really don't think we're going to keep going down and down and down. Even if we do, I don't expect to go much below, 4,000 is the absolute lowest price that I could ever imagine, honestly. And also with that Bitcoin ETF, I'm not really sure how you can expect to just continue to move lower and lower and lower. And when that does come out, we're going to see an explosion no matter what price it's at. So hopefully we don't drop down to 4,000 before that happens. However, Bitcoin had to drop 19% in May to push the 5-month MA below the 10-month MA. So it's likely the bears have run out of steam, at least for the short term. Thus, a corrective rally could be in the offing before the bearish effect of the long-term moving average crossover is felt. Indeed, the short duration chart does show a scope for a rally to 7,800. So as you can see, some, different views on the Bitcoin price, because honestly, first off, we're in a wedge. That's kind of a shorter term wedge since kind of almost the beginning of 2018. About, it kind of started right around this point, but excuse me, guys. It's early in the morning recording this. Sometimes it just yawn, but so yeah, obviously we're in a wedge that we've been pointing out for a while. We've been moving in between this wedge, and also the 200-day moving average is looking very bullish and hasn't looked this way for over 3 years. So obviously differing opinions. He's talking about the 10-month and 5-month MAs, and we're looking at the 200-day moving average. So we're kind of looking at similar patterns, but of course there could still be room for Bitcoin to fall. If we look at it like that, he said the bull run started at $162, I think he said. So if we take it down to there, that's a huge run up. But I can't really say it started there. I would say it started, at 247, where we really crossed above that 200-day moving average. So let me just get the right tool here. Fibonacci retracement. There we go. All right, so he said that's basically what we're looking at. If we were looking for a 78% retracement, we're going to be looking at around that 4,500 mark if we do drop further. But right now we are kind of, we're in a good spot around that 61% drop, and we were in this zone per se. So I do think we're still in a good spot, and I think that there's a lot of ways to look at technical analysis, but honestly, not only the fundamentals of the global economy, as well as the U.S. economy and the European economy, but also taking into account the fact that when the SEC does put in a Bitcoin ETF, I do expect to just go, price action will just take off, to be honest. Non-stop institutional money will be flowing in once that ETF does get added. So speaking like that, I don't really think that we're going to be seeing that. So down to 4,300, 4,500, it could happen, but looking at the indicators that we are looking at, I mean, the current wedge we're in, holding above key support level about 7,000, triple bottom, we're below the 200-day moving average. The global economy is not doing well at all. There's risks of real estate and equities bubbles. Also, looking at the fact that the SEC will be releasing an ETF on Bitcoin in sometime in the future, and institutional money will continue to flow in to this space. There's no doubt this is a multi-trillion-dollar market cap market when it does get to that point. So, honestly, I'm more bullish than bearish for all of those reasons. Of course, there's always going to be reasons to be bearish, but obviously I'll have the systems in place to pick up coins at those levels, 40, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 if it comes to that. But I'm more bullish than bearish, for those of you guys who are wondering. So, excuse me, guys. My voice is a little raspy today, but that's all for cryptocurrency news. Let's see if we can find any other news on CoinDesk. Bitmain's new miner draws early criticism. Separatists banded to tokenize power grid. Binance reveals plan for $1 billion blockchain startup fund. That's pretty cool. GMO launches. I mean, yeah, guys, there's just a lot of stories on new funds being put up all the time. I mean, a $1 billion fund from Binance. That's pretty great. Former Huobi's launching a cryptocurrency exchange traded fund. Another fund. MasterCard looks to blockchain to make coupons immutable. Official central banks need to compete with crypto. IMF official believes central banks need to offer better fiat currencies in order to fend off potential competition from cryptocurrencies. So you can see some fighting back from some of the central banks. Money transfer firms join Ripple's payment network. Guys, definitely go check out the daily update we did yesterday if you haven't. We talked about Ripple and some of the details on it, comparing it to Bitcoin, and I think it's an interesting video that you guys should definitely check out. But moving into the last news source we usually check out, U.S. crypto exchange signs agreement to offer fiat crypto trading to corporate clients. Coinbase board members not see regulation for years. Official tech adoption to banks to fight crypto. Okay. Doesn't look like we have a ton of news here. BitLicense approval shines fresh light on New York crypto relationship. Yeah, guys, if you know about what's it called? Mount Gox, that was in New York City, and gave a bit of a bad taste in the city about cryptocurrency, considering a lot of people lost a lot of money. So there's that. Crypto payment gateway to help startups increase adoption of custom-made tokens. Blockchain-powered trust raises $65 million from investors. So guys, just the overall consensus is you can clearly see tons of money is pushing into this space, and there's no doubt that this market is headed up. Of course, guys, we could see more bear markets, right? We could see a lot of things, but no doubt that this market is looking on the upside for the long term. So that's going to be all for this one today, guys. Looking for Bitcoin to hold above 7,300 and push past 7,600. But besides that, that's pretty much all I'm looking out for today. Still in kind of a tricky phase, don't really know where we're going yet. Kind of been moving in between a very small number. So either we should expect a large move up or a large move down very shortly. So just keeping an eye out for that. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you guys are interested in one-on-one coaching, definitely check that out in the description. But besides that, hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, guys.